A lot of people don't know the original design for the Statue of Liberty was a black. A lot of people don't know the original design for the Statue of Liberty was a black female. Museum in New York, you can see the original design of the Statue of Liberty, which is a black woman. When the French artist created the Statue of Liberty, it was supposed to represent the end of slavery. On the original model, there were chains on the hands and feet, as we know. When the statue got to America, they wanted to erase any references to slavery from the statue.
Hey, did you know there's an interesting theory about the Statue of Liberty's original design? Some people claim it was initially meant to have an African-American face.
Really? I've never heard that before. What's the story behind it?
Well, according to this theory, the statue was supposed to honor the end of slavery. The original model from 1848 allegedly had chains on its hands and feet to symbolize broken bondage.
That's fascinating, but is it true? I thought the Statue of Liberty was completed much later in 1886.
You're right, historians actually debate this claim. The widely accepted story is that it was designed by Frederick Auguste Bartholdi to celebrate US-French friendship and liberty, inspired by the abolition of slavery in 1865.
Interesting. It's amazing how even well-known symbols can have lesser-known stories attached to them. It really shows how complex history can be.
Exactly. So, with all that being said, like, comment, and share for more unapologetic contents.
Let's break it down and explore what's verifiable, what's contested, and what might be driving this story. Historical context and origins of the statue. The Statue of Liberty, officially titled Liberty Enlightening the World, was a gift from France to the United States, presented in 1886 to celebrate the centennial of American independence and the enduring friendship between the two nations. The idea originated with Édouard de La Boulaye, a French jurist, historian, and prominent abolitionist who chaired the French Anti-Slavery Society. In the aftermath of the U.S. Civil War, 1861-1865, and the abolition of slavery via the 13th Amendment in 1865, La Boulaye saw the statue as a way to honor America's commitment to liberty, which included the emancipation of enslaved African Americans. He enlisted sculptor Frederick Auguste Bartholdi to bring this vision to life. Bartholdi's early designs for the statue evolved over time. Before the Statue of Liberty project, he had proposed a colossal statue for Egypt, titled Egypt Carrying the Light to Asia, intended as a lighthouse at the Suez Canal's entrance, which the canal was man-made.
A lot of people don't know the original design for the Statue of Liberty was a black female. As a matter of fact, in a museum in New York, you can see the original design of the Statue of Liberty, which is a black woman. When the French artist created the Statue of Liberty, it was supposed to represent the end of slavery. On the original model, there were chains on the hands and feet, as we know. When the statue got to America, they wanted to erase any references to slavery from the statue, but the artist really fought to keep the chains on there because this is your art. You don't want people tampering with your art. And if you look, the chain is still on the foot of the Statue of Liberty to this day.
History is so deep buried, but the sins has reached the highest heavens. But it was said this figure was a robed woman, possibly inspired by an Arab or Egyptian women, holding a torch, when we know that's a whitewashed lie. Where there's no history of Arabs, women came in the United States in chains. Only African women. But it was said it fell through in the late 1860s. Bartholdi repurposed aspects of the concept for La Boulaye's American Commission. However, everything has been erased, but we know that the chains are still there tucked under Lady Liberty feet. So we can rule that out. When it comes, the whitewashing. So let's continue the abolitionist connection. The claim that the Statue of Liberty was meant to celebrate the end of slavery has a kernel of truth. La Boulaye, an admirer of Abraham Lincoln, was motivated by the Union's victory and the abolition of slavery. Early sketches and models by Bartholdi did include symbols of emancipation, most notably broken 70 model. Lady Liberty held broken shackles in her left hand while raising a torch in her right, a clear nod to liberation. Over time, this design changed. The shackles were moved to her feet, partially hidden beneath her robe, and her left hand now holds a tablet inscribed with July 4, MDCCLX 6 July 4, 1776, emphasizing American independence rather than slavery's end. Why the shift? Historians suggest it was both artistic and political. Bartholdi and Laboulaye aimed for a broader, less divisive symbol of liberty that could resonate with both nations. By 1886, when the statue was unveiled, the US was in the midst of Reconstruction's collapse. I bet more likely they didn't wanted a black-face statue, with Jim Crow laws emerging and racial tensions high. Highlighting slavery explicitly might have alienated parts of the American public, particularly in the South. The chains remained, but subtly, as a compromise. Bartholdi reportedly insisted on retaining some reference to emancipation. Was the original model an African-American woman? The assertion that the statue's face was originally that of an African-American woman, rejected and Europeanized by the US, lacks concrete evidence. Bartholdi modeled the statue after the Roman goddess Libertas, a common symbol of freedom in Western art, often depicted with classical European features. Some speculate that Bartholdi's mother, Charlotte, influenced the face's design, though he never confirmed this. It was said that there's no archival record, sketches, letters, or models showing an African-American face as the original blueprint, nor evidence that the US rejected such a version and demanded a redesign in France. Posts on X, because they got rid of it. And various websites have fueled this narrative, often citing the statue's dark copper color before it oxidized to green as proof of a black figure. However, this is a misunderstanding. The statue's original reddish-brown hue was simply unpainted copper, which naturally darkened and then turned green over decades due to weathering. Claims about a patron saint of manifest destiny replacing an African face seem to conflate historical figures and ideas without basis. Manifest destiny, a 19th century ideology.
The story was that it was a gift of the French to the slaves, and that the original statue had the picture of a black woman, the original model for it, and it had a distinctly African face. But it was Europeanized because the people in the United States did not want to have a black face sitting up there in their harbor, so they carved it out. In France, they had to go back to the drawing board and remodel the face after patron saint of manifest destiny. So the patron saint of manifest destiny, that's her face on the what do you call it, Statue of Liberty, which was transposed from the African face.